Welcome to our 5 on 5. Pleased to be joined today by Jackson County Commissioner Colleen Roberts. Commissioner, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me in.
Well, what accomplishment are you most proud of in your nearly 8 years in office?
I think we've accomplished many things where I think our county is headed in a great direction, but definitely my greatest accomplishment has been the last 4 years on our fire and smoke policies. You know, after 2018 and we had more of the summer of smoke, months and months, and we were had it. And we had a public hearing and we started looking for solutions. And I started putting forth resolutions that we could stand on and coordinate with our federal agencies to stop some of this nonsense. And we brought our federal agencies in and we said, you know, can you do this with us? If once it's state declared fire season, initial attack, nothing but full suppression. And they said yes. And so, and they have, you know, since 2019, 20, 21, 22, we haven't had the catastrophic wildfires on our public lands like we were having. And I believe in 2022, we probably had the same amount of lightning strikes as any other county, but ours were put out. And I'm just so proud of them for doing that. And of course, I have taken that to a national level in the National Association of Counties and sponsored a resolution to support and mirror our resolution and presented it, the flawed federal policy, to the White House. And even recently, Secretary Vilsack said we need to remove the let it burn policy. And I'm reaching out to him with alternative language to help him accomplish that. And that'll be such a victory. And it's just kind of my passion. I know 2 weeks ago I was in Ontario with the Western Interstate region, and that's all the commissioners from Canada border to Mexican border, and everybody in this western part of our country is battling the fires. And I took packets of our material and said, this is what we've done, it works, use it, let's all get it in our counties. So our message is reaching far and wide, and it's pretty exciting to be involved in.
What are your priorities if you're reelected?
Well, I am going to strive to get the federal wildland fire policy amended. And that is kind of the natural resources as part of my liaison work, and I work really hard at it, and we've been very successful with it. And definitely continue our my fiscal conservative values as far as budgeting. I've been through 8 budget cycles, and our county's on a real strong financial basis as we move forward in kind of uncertain inflationary times. And I think it will serve us well as we all battle kind of this area of finances. So yeah, I think I care about every penny that I'm responsible for spending that belongs to the people, as I do my own. And I know, like, one instance is our state county association, and we got out of that. We didn't feel it was a good return on our investment. And I know my opponent states he wants to go back in and quotes that it only costs $25,000, and that isn't true. I mean, it costs far more than that just in dues, and then the cost of travel and the cost of lodging. And sometimes even we have to go back to Salem to lobby for decisions that were made on our behalf through this association. So we really have watched it closely. Does it benefit our residents? And found right now it certainly does not. And I'm excited to be part of that direct representation on behalf of the citizens of Jackson County, and all the citizens, not just a part or a party or a segment, for each and every one. Just like our fire policy helped everybody, it's helped our businesses and our economy, our clean air. You know, it's all inclusive.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're going to here with Jackson County Commissioner Colleen Roberts. Commissioner, Jackson County Administrator Danny Jordan asked the Board of Commissioners to issue a statement supporting mask wearing, social distancing, and hand washing as COVID became highly politicized in 2020 and Jackson County's hospitals became overwhelmed by patients. You refused. Do you have any regrets about that?
No, I don't have any regrets about the past 2 years at all. I know our health department, we supported our health department in everything they did. I believe Dr. Shames was on the news every night with updates and information for anybody who needs who needed any of the PPE or the vaccinations or testing or masks or any of that. Now, I do support that for our businesses and people to not be mandated. I believe that should be our own personal choice. I don't believe that any elected official, the state or a commissioner, should be telling another person what kind of treatment to take. I don't have an MD behind my name, and I believe in the a personal choice and all that, and will always stand for our businesses and our people for their medical freedom.
So I understand your point. I guess a bipartisan group of local leaders, former and current, wrote a letter asking commissioners to be leaders. The disease has killed more than 1 million Americans, many of them elderly. Nearly 600 Jackson County residents have died because of COVID, according to public health. Because of the views of some of our politicians, many people didn't believe it was real and still don't. Do you think it's important to dispel that potentially fatal logic as a leader?
I'm not sure what logic you're pointing out.
Science?
What's that?
Science?
Science. Yeah, I think there's a lot of science, and I think that letter that was authored by my opponent and many other officials also pointed out that they wanted every child vaccinated, every adult vaccinated, and we should be pushing that. And I think there's a lot coming out about some of the dangers of that. When there is danger, and there should be choice. And I believe, obviously COVID is real, but how we handle that, I don't know anybody's medical condition to force or tell anybody what kind of medical treatment to get. And I think that was a real, I don't know if that's an issue that's dead at this point, but I think it's definitely something families need to consider, businesses need to consider, and be able to choose for themselves.
Should Jackson County be doing more to help with mental health locally?
We're really starting a mobile unit and reaching out in many ways. I think mobile mental health and drug addiction kind of are linked together. And I know with Measure 110, a lot of those people aren't getting any kind of legal complications, so they're not getting in to get help, and you can't make them get help. But you know what my concern is? When we've had students and children out of school for 2 years, masked up, and in really unhealthy, some unhealthy conditions, what kind of mental condition are we going to be dealing with that generation of kids? It really concerns me, and I just think we may be headed for really some difficult issues that we need to get prepared for.
Commissioner, thank you for taking the time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.